First thing that I would like to address, in a live that Lynn had that I was on panel.
The live video that Criss is talking about was put on private, as Terry had told me, because I myself wanted her to put it back on public so I can grab a clip from there on what Criss is going to be talking about now on that video. But Terry wants to keep it private due to both Criss and Chicago's past trauma discussion. But then I had also received this comment which explains that Roadhog has that part that I'm looking for in one of his videos, which is good news. So anyway, let's continue.
I was not in a really good head. Well, let's face it, there's been a lot that I haven't been in a very good headspace on. The last year of my life has been an absolute whirlwind. This needs to get to Chicago in any way, shape, form, or possibility. I spoke about what I had considered starting a live stream about. I was in a BPD flip, and I am making no excuses for not hearing everyone telling me to stop.
So Criss was told to basically stop talking about her trauma because it was affecting Chicago, who had also suffered similar trauma. But Criss at that time during that live didn't hear them telling her to stop. And that's when Chicago had dropped down from that live, and afterwards they were, in my opinion, being quite mean to Criss, which I believe was wrong. So let's watch the part from Roadhog's live to have a look at what happened exactly.
I'm thinking about making a channel about...
What? Penises?
About what?
What? Penis?
The biggest trauma in my life was watching my biological father commit suicide.
So that's what was said. Criss mentioned about her father, and rest in peace to him, had sadly committed suicide, in which Criss had sadly seen it happen with her own eyes. So it was upsetting for Chicago because, as far as I remember, something similar like that had also happened with Chicago's father. Rest in peace to him. I don't know the full details, or I can't remember, so I won't go into much detail on that for Chicago's sake. But correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember is that same day was the anniversary, I believe. I will double check it, and I'm sorry to Chicago if I'm wrong.
Ah, shit!
Credit to Roadhog, by the way, for this clip.
Just when you're having fun, they gotta fuck it up, don't they? Are you shitting me?
Okay. Respectfully, that's a subject we can't touch, okay?
So Terry says that's a subject they can't touch. But considering Chicago, and if that day was the anniversary, then Terry should have at least warned Criss before she brought her on panel. Because Criss herself didn't know it was that day, or had forgotten, which you will see in a while.
This motherfucker is unhinged.
But I think I want to make a channel and dedicate it just to children.
Criss.
Even at that point, Criss clearly didn't know what was exactly going on because no one was telling her. Of course, I don't expect Chicago to mention anything, but at least Terry should have opened her mouth and said something, because clearly Criss hadn't a clue. Because as you can see, Criss was very emotional and having her own thoughts about her father and her past trauma circling in her head. I believe if she had known or remembered about Chicago, then she wouldn't have spoken about it.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, God damn. Okay. What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Yeah, I agree. Because Terry should have at least said something or just put Criss down in case she goes on to speak more on her trauma. But still, I don't understand why Criss was battered after that. It wasn't her fault, but Terry's fault.
Oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay,
Look, they're like, look, these motherfuckers are like, look, Terry's like, oh shit. Chicago's like, motherfucker, what?
Criss, stop, please.
No.
So this is what I don't get. They claim that they kept telling Criss to stop, but no, they didn't. That's the first stop, and before that, Terry told Criss that basically there's to be no discussion on that. But Criss has no clue as to what the fuck is going on, or why she's not allowed to speak about her trauma. She has no fucking clue because Terry says fuck all. Like I said, I don't understand why Criss got battered over it and not Terry, to be honest.
Oh, Jesus. This
Okay.
is not good. This is not good.
I'm sorry, Shy. You can drop.
So now she finally gives off a hint to Criss about the situation. Terry did the same thing with Tyra. When Tyra was doxing Nellie, she let it happen, let it continue to happen, and then she speaks. Same thing we're seeing here in that situation.
Oh no! Chicago's having a mental break. Wasn't it? What the fuck? Now Chicago's having a mental breakdown. God damn! Look, they all fucked each other over tonight. It's bad. This isn't good for nobody. Oh no! Oh god! Now Chicago pissing her panties. What's going on?
See, no matter what.
Oh my!
Okay, so that's when Chicago had dropped down. But to be honest, I probably would have dropped Criss down and shut the live down and explain in private on why it was shut down, and for Terry to say sorry because it was her fuck up and not Chris's. Which makes me wonder if that's the real reason why Terry put her video on private, because she fucked up.
God! What in the fuck?
I do. I'm always wrong. I'm gonna go down, and I don't know if I'll ever be back.
I feel very sorry for Criss at that point, because not only was she having a very bad day that day, but is now left feeling guilty, as if she did something wrong in which she didn't. And yet afterwards, in the comment sections, they were all battering her the stupid fucks. Go batter Terry, you idiots. It was her fault, not Chris's.
Somebody let the fucking dog out to piss. Wow. Oh.
So that was basically it. Then Terry ended the live. So let's get back to Terry's recent live to see what Criss had said concerning that live.
Now that I went back and watched the live, I can hear it. In the moment, it was something that I did not hear.
So she explains how she didn't hear it in that moment, but take note that, after Criss said it, Terry didn't say stop, but just explained that they won't be discussing that stuff there, while at the same time, Criss had no clue on why not.
I was completely unaware of the date that it was for Chicago.
So there you go. That was the anniversary day, but Criss was unaware of it, which obviously was Terry's fault for not speaking to Criss beforehand before bringing Criss up on panel.
And as a child survivor of the same thing with my father, I would never, ever, ever, irregardless of how any of you ladies feel about me, I would never do anything like that in my normal, rational, sane self-mind.
And I believe her, to be honest.
Just to let you
I
know.
would like to apologize profusely to Chicago, because in this whole entire community, she has never, even after that, had a bad word to say about me.
And that is true. Chicago never got mean with Criss afterwards, but the others did. And while watching that vid, wouldn't you think or expect Terry to at least open her mouth and say, sorry, at least take accountability for her fuck-up over that live, and not continue to let Criss be feeling like a shitty person here?
Criss, I just want to let you know that Chicago is in the chat, and she said she forgives you.
That's nice, but I don't see why Criss needs to be forgiven when it was the sloth ass's fault up there.
That is something that was my first bullet point. Because Chicago, I truly believe she actually tried to care about me. I fucked that up. Not anybody else. I did.
No, you didn't. It was Terry's fault. She fucked that shit up.
What I would like to explain to some women in the chat that I saw on your comeback video, Terry Lynn. I assumed I was blocked from your channel because when Tira had, I thought that both of you said you had blocked me out of your channel.
Okay, I'll end the video at that, as I only wanted to discuss that part about what happened last time, but I will watch through the rest of Terry's live, and then maybe react to it also. Maybe in parts. Things like that. Okay, chat soon, and rest in peace to both fathers.